Hi, welcome to a tarot card for Cancer. Already having trouble getting it out, speaking my truth. Cancer, you're having a lot of trouble speaking your truth when it comes to your identity in the world. You want to show up and do what you love to make money, and you're getting right down to the grassroots of exactly what do I truly love to do, and am I still truly loving what I do for a living? Things are changing rapidly in your world, absolutely. And what you could have started off doing for a career could be losing its luster, and or you want to evolve it to another level. It could have a lot to do with emotions, how you truly feel in the day to day. Are you feeling drained by what you do? Is family commitments, the home calling you? Are you dealing also with aging parents too that have expectations that you'll pick up the pieces and care for them as they get older? Because their expectations of what families should do is very different from your own. So there's a lot going on at the moment as to decide what you're actually going to be doing. But you need to decide from your own self here what you feel is right. So just sit back with yourself here and really have a bit of quiet time and decide, do I really want to be looking after mum or dad? Do I really want to be doing this for a job anymore? Am I happy in this house, in this place? All these questions are going to be rising up for you at the moment. And people could be asking you too, how do you feel about where you live? How do you feel about your job? And your answers could be surprising yourself. Forgiveness will free your heart. So are you beating yourself up about choices that you've made? Are other people finding it hard to forgive you for the choices that you have made? You could be dealing with a group here that has really got big opinions on what they think you should be doing with your time, for a career, where you should live. Family dynamics really much in this. Siblings, cousins, expectations. But you're also desperately wanting to find a soul tribe as well. And maybe that has not been exactly forthcoming, or it's in a very slow process of being built here. And there's a lot trying to pull you back into the past. Like, why did you move interstate? You can live with, come back and be with the group again, if that's your case, Why did you leave the family dynamics? Come back and be with the rest of us. But there's something inside of you that just wants to do you the way that you've always wanted to do you. And maybe the expectations of others from the past is they didn't allow that freedom of self-expression that you're now experiencing, but there's still that twinge in your heart that wants the familiarity of the old. Because when you're basically on the edge of coming into a great new life, there's the old life can pop its head back up again and sort of say, remember me, come back this way, remember, and all old habits and coping mechanisms can pop up as well. So you could have moved so far away from doing certain things to cope with life, with your job, with the reality, this 3D matrix, that in moments of just sort of longing for a simpler time where things were the way they were, you can easily to fall back on things that can keep you in a lower vibration, like having that glass of wine at night, or that negative thinking spiral, or listening to people say, oh, do you really think you should be doing that for a living? Or do you really think you want to live there? Or did you really think you made the right choice on that decision? And have yourself second guessing yourself. So to actually tune out those distractions will be really helpful, but it can be very difficult when you're surrounded by what other people think all the time. You know, you might be literally going, oh, wow, did I really do the right thing? Have I really made the right choice? Maybe I should come, you know, go back and look after mum in her old age, or whatever it is, you know. But you made these choices for a reason. And so you need to hook back in and remember that you're a big kid now, I keep on hearing, and you're making your own choices in the world, okay? And you want to be victorious. You want to be other people to recognize how far you've come and just what you've achieved. And maybe sometimes that isn't exactly forthcoming, as I said. There may be a couple of people cheering you on here, though. And also listen out for the ones that are. Because I hear they're your true friends, or they're the people that have got your back. Advice. But yes, the past is trying to call you back. A longing for a simpler time. When we have been in a situation for a very long time, or since childhood really, it doesn't matter how dysfunctional or how much it didn't really suit us, or how we tried to escape it with fantasy. I want to be a spaceman, or I want to be a princess. Or maybe you're actually out there trying to be that spaceman or princess. So, you know, I'm out there doing what I want to do now. And there's so much of the past which is easy. You know, going back to the way you were, particularly in the not so distant past, is actually the easiest option, because your ego wants you to be safe and it doesn't really like change. There could also be a flight of fantasy taking over you at the moment, where you really just wish things were, I could go back to not having to even think about having to pay the bills or be the grown-up. Why can't I just live a more simple life, of the life of playing in the sun and fantasy? But even these children are playing grown-up. They've moved into this beautiful treehouse in the background with their clothes hanging on the balustrade there. So they were trying to be something they weren't. So how much in your life are you trying to be something that you were? It's food for thought, because you've been asked to actually get up and show up and be authentic in your own life. But when you don't exactly know exactly what's best for you, because you listen to outside influences of some kind, or outside influences trying to bombard you with their opinions, it can be very hard to actually get up and show up authentically. The system, I hear, the expectations, societal expectations. In this country we act like this, in this family we act like this, in this church, this group, this whatever it be, we act this certain way. And you're truly wanting to be your authentic self. So hold on to that. But I also hear, don't bother arguing with the people that have an opinion about it, because they're coming from their own place. There's nothing you can do to actually get other people to understand what you want and what you want to be. There's nothing you can say. I also hear it's best not to tell everybody your ideas, plans, and dreams before you actually start to work on them yourself. An example is, you know, you want to be a spaceman and you're going into the space program. But to start to tell everybody that I'm going to be a spaceman and I'm going to go into the program, people are going to say, oh, really, there's only, you know, the 1% in the planet, you know, the whatever it is, actually get a chance to get in. Are you fooling yourself? Are you, you know, do you really think that's going to happen for you? Whereas you just get down, get dirty, do the things that you need to do to get your fitness levels up, to get into whatever it is, the military, or whatever the steps are to get into the space program, and show by example rather than telling people you're going to do something. Leaves yourself less open to judgment and criticism. Keep your day job, but aim for the stars. Behind doors, I hear. Keep it a bit secret. But see, you could be really worried about, by changing where you are, what you do, you could end up literally feeling like you're out ostracized by the group. You will have less than, you will be considered a pauper or someone that's not someone that's worth hanging around. All the people of wealth and status are not, go inside the church, and you've been shoved out in the cold outside this group, this family, whatever it be. There is loyalty here. There is someone here that does have your back, but they could be also going through the same thing. To step outside the status quo and do you can feel extremely isolating. Extremely isolating. And sometimes you wonder if I come on destitute times, will there ever be anybody that can pick me up? And a lot of the time in this 3D matrix world, no, there isn't anyone to pick you up. So separating yourself from the group is right down in our operating system from way back when we were hunter-gatherers. To be isolated from the group, to separate yourself out from the group, put yourself in great danger. It's easier to get taken by a beast or freeze to death in the snow, during the last ice age or whatever, because you didn't have the protection of the shelter or the group. Or what happens if I get sick? Will there be anybody to care for me? All these things arise and can actually put you in quite a fearful place. So check in with that. As I said, to be the trailblazer, to be the one that's different, the one that stands out, the one that does something different, that moves, that goes somewhere else, can be terrifying. But it's also incredibly liberating, because you don't have to go by the status quo anymore. But you need to be hyper vigilant to protect yourself during these times. As I said, don't give so much information to the greater group at large, so they can, jeer you as you go out the door. Oh, really? Do you think you're going to be able to make it out there? That sort of thing. You can just envision it, Be aware of that. But you are moving on nonetheless, whether it's emotionally, mentally, or physically, or all of the above. And going out on your own, here's the opposite to what this is, in my opinion. She's walking herself out into the desert without shelter. They're walking themselves out into the freezing cold without shelter. When we first set out, this woman, when she first set out, would be quite comfortable, but I should imagine things would get quite uncomfortable further down the road when the sun comes up. And these individuals, when they first walked out the door, they would have been quite a shock to the system to figure out that it's freezing out there. But as time goes on and they start to move, they could probably warm up. So it's one or the other. As you take those first steps out of your scenario and move into a brand new life and a brand new world, there could be a level of comfort to start with, but then things change, and there could be also a level of a lot of uncomfortableness, but then you start to get warmer and will start to build your own shelter. Pick up other like-minded people that have the same idea of stepping outside the status quo and doing things for themselves. But be very careful of protecting yourself and put that white light shield around yourself. Connect with your spirit guides, your team, God, the universe, archangels, whatever is your support network that's not human or here right now. Family, friends, that sort of thing. And go with an understanding that you are doing this for yourself, for the greater good. Because it's people that actually step outside the box that can bring so much to humanity. The free thinkers, the ones that took that chance, the ones that moved into a different area, found so much more than what they would have if they just stayed where they were. But as I said, in this 3D matrix, it's very, very difficult to take that first step outside. You don't have to defend your stance. You don't also have to listen to what other people think of it either. You can listen, I suppose, yes, but you don't have to take it in. And if people are persistent and harassing you about what they think about your choice to do something completely different here, it's best to limit your time and your ability to hear. You know, don't answer the phone all the time to someone that's always going to bag you out for what you're doing, and, you know, make yourself less available to those sorts of people. But if there's somebody here cheering you on, you can make yourself more available to those type of people. Just going to get some advice. I release all limitations, absolutely. And so this is what's part of it, isn't it? When I am ready to make positive changes in my life, I attract whatever I need to help me. Absolutely. So as you go along this road, as solitary as you may feel when you first step out there, you will attract what you need to help you to continue to keep on making those action steps. I rejoice in my creative energy. Fun, uplifting ideas flow through my consciousness, and I follow through on the ideas received, bringing them into full manifestation. You don't know until you give it a go. You truly don't know until you give it a go. And a lot of the time, our ancestors, people from our past, humanity from the past, didn't have the chances and opportunities that we do right now. We live in quite a blessed time. We're a time where it doesn't matter if you're male or female, where in the world you live, there are opportunities available to us that may not have been even available last generation. So rejoice in knowing that, and also rejoice in that your ideas, you're going to bring them into full manifestation. It's up to you to make that choice, to stand by yourself and have your own back. Show and lead by example. Wellness is a natural state of my body. My body communicates with me, and I am willing to listen and understand its messages. Absolutely. So in these two cards I've had out earlier, as you go down this road, you'll realize that your body is saying, well, it's darn hot and I need to put a hat on or shelter myself from the sun. You need to listen to these things. Your body would be saying in this scenario that it's cold, I need to shelter my feet and my body from the cold. Well, you need to listen to those things. So when your body starts to tell you that you need to do certain things, listen. But also listen to your body when you end up realizing that you might be in a fight or flight mechanism because of what you're thinking. And be very, very gentle and nurturing on your adrenals. Last but not least, oh, there's two cards here. My mind is a powerful healing tool. I'm stuck to this other one. Every day I choose to send loving, healing energy to the planet. My mind does make a difference, absolutely. So it's a matter of deciding whether you feel that you can do this. You make that decision and you stick by it. You can do this. In times where you feel like you may not be able to go on, remember that you can do this. And I am grateful for all the wonderful things in my world. I express gratitude to the universe often, knowing that my thoughts are heard and appreciated. Thank you. You could say to yourself, thank you, I woke up this morning. Thank you, I'm in good health. Thank you for the sun on my skin. Thank you for water, for food, for shelter. Be thankful. And the more thankful you are, the more things you'll have the ability to be thankful for. So be very gentle on yourself during this time of great transition. Be careful of the fact that your old life is trying to draw you back there because of the comfort and stability that it once gave you. But it gave you that once. And now you are starting to move out and move into a brand new world. You're getting older, more mature, more wiser with each step that you take. Don't listen to other people's expectations on how you should live or how you should earn money, because you're showing up for yourself now. And do it for your future self. Your future self is cheering you on, as well as your ancestors that may not have got a chance to step outside the box and be and become what they truly wanted to be. And if we all didn't take that step, humankind, to actually walk out of Africa, if that's truly what we end up doing, and deciding to move from the place we were into somewhere else completely unknown, we would not have been able to experience the wholeness of this globe and its majesty. So just know that you are stepping into the unknown, but you are guided every step of the way. I really hope that helped, beautiful Cancer. Please be gentle with yourself at this time. I love you all, and bye for now.